So one of the most fun and interesting conversations that I get to have is whenever I hang out with my buddies who started lifting weights around the same time as I did, and then we end up talking about all the things that we did that were really stupid early on, things that we end up laughing at ourselves, but then we also share a lot of things that we learned about our bodies over the years that helped us get better results. And that's the kind of conversation I want to have with you. So in this video, I want to share with you 5 things that I've learned from 10 years of lifting weights. And some of these will be unusual. Some of these I wish I knew earlier because I would have definitely gotten way better results. And this is the point of this video. I want to make sure you don't waste your time figuring everything out so you can leverage my experience to get better results. So without any further ado, let's dive into it. So the first thing that I've learned that you need to know is that just because your program is making you tired, it doesn't mean that you're having productive workout sessions. And what I mean by this is that there's a pretty big difference between exercising and training with a goal in mind. I've been through different phases in my journey where I would just be training intuitively. I'd go to the gym, I would do the exercise that I felt like doing, I would be doing the reps that I felt like doing, I'd be doing the weights that I felt like doing. And sure, I was showing up and I was still consistent, but I wasn't getting anywhere. There was really no progress being made. It's sort of equivalent of me going for a ride in my car, but not having any destination and just driving around the city, and you don't know where you're going, so you're not going to get anywhere. And that's actually what happens to most people on their journey. At some point, they stop paying attention to numbers, and you can only wing it for so long. So you do have to pay attention to what's going on with your process. If you care about building muscle, if you care about getting leaner and getting to a lower body fat percentage, if you care about having a net positive result from your efforts. So in the gym, you want to be paying attention to adding weight to the bar. Are you getting more reps with the same weight? Are you able to do more sets? Are you doing more time on attention? Better technique? I mean, we all had that experience where we went to the gym, we dropped the weight a little bit, and suddenly you connect with that body part way better. You're doing way more range of motion, and then you feel it the next day. You feel that disruption. And all those are signs of progressive overload that you want to be paying attention to. From a nutrition perspective, you want to pay attention to your macros, to your calories. From a recovery perspective, you want to pay attention to your sleep. All those metrics really matter a lot. I know a ton of people that have trained the same amount of years as I did, but somewhere around a year and a half into it, 2 years into it, they stopped paying attention to numbers, they stopped caring about the metrics and the data, and they kind of got stuck. Their physique looks exactly the same, they haven't made any progress despite showing up consistently for many years. So don't be that person. Pay attention, make sure you have goals in mind, make sure you're moving somewhere, that you have a direction, and it will really pay off in the long run. Now, the second big mistake that I made is I thought that deloads were a complete waste of time. Not only that, when someone would mention that they're taking a deload or recovery week, I thought that this person doesn't have what it takes. I'm going to outwork everybody. I'm going to just train harder. And that was the mentality for a very long time. Every plateau that I had, the solution was just to push myself harder. And you can only do this for so long until fatigue catches up with you, until you start running into problems. Especially when I entered my 30s, I'm 34 now. When I enter my 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond, I think this is going to become even more important. I had to learn how to manage my fatigue and recognize those signs that I am overdoing it, that it's time to take a step back. So these days, I know that if my tendons and joints are achy, if my sleep is suffering, if I'm losing strength, if my motivation to train is down, if my mood is affected several weeks and I'm just feeling overall achy, it's time for me to take a step back. I like to time deloads with holidays if possible, so then I know that I'm going to be training suboptimally anyway, so it's that ideal time to take a step back. And even if I don't have a period that I'm planning to travel, I'm then going to take a deload week every 5th or 6th week where I'm going to cut the number of sets in half, I'm going to reduce the weight by 30-40%. It's going to feel very light. It's going to feel very unusual. And I know there's a fear that if you do such training for a week that you're going to lose your gains, but you're really not. You're essentially taking one step backwards so you can then take 4 steps forward of really productive, smart training. It's not enough just to train hard. You do want to make sure you're also training smart. Now, the third thing that I learned in my journey is that certain body parts need special treatment. And for me personally, that was my chest. I realized that I don't have the best chest genetics. Chest was lagging behind all the other body parts for years, and it took me a long time to figure out how to train my chest properly. And by the way, the other thing that needs special treatment is the like button below the video, so make sure to destroy that like button as hard as possible. It really helps a ton with the algorithm, and I really do appreciate your support. Going back to chest training, here's a couple of tips that really made a big difference for me. First and foremost, I stopped heavy barbell bench pressing. I used to do a lot of sets of 5, sets of 3, 1 rep max testing with my buddies, pushing ourselves, but none of that really grew my chest. Over the years, I shifted to doing more weighted push-ups. I started preferring dumbbells over barbells because I could connect with dumbbells a lot more. I started doing chest fly variations that had a really good mind-muscle connection. I started training my chest across all rep ranges, so I was doing that 6 to 8, 8 to 12, 12 to 15, 15 to 20. So I really had a variety of exercises to discover what I need to do to get that chest to grow to catch up. And on top of that, I did more volume for chest. I did a little bit more sets. I prioritized chest earlier in the session. So if I'm doing a full body workout, I'd be starting with those chest exercises. I'd be sometimes adding an extra couple of sets of chest flies on my leg days. So all of that is to say that you have to treat that body part differently. You can't just train everything the same. And I'm sure you have body parts as well that you don't really connect with that well. Maybe it's your back, same as I had. I would do a chest day and the next day I felt my shoulders and my triceps. I didn't do chest almost at all. I didn't feel that disruption. So make sure you adapt your workouts to handle that imbalance. And obviously, if you're just starting out, everything is weak. But when you get to that intermediate level, when you get to that advanced level, it's really important that you start looking at individual differences, because genetics do matter and we don't all have the same genetics and we can't train everything the same. So by paying attention to this, you're going to develop an overall well-rounded physique and you're going to be very, very happy with the results. Lesson number 4. I wish I'd spent more time studying proper technique, especially as a beginner. And it's one of those things that if you learn bad lifting habits early on and poor technique, it's so difficult to relearn that. And most people in commercial gyms are not doing lifts properly. You cannot learn from just going to the gym. And you can also not learn from your buddy that's 2-3 months ahead of you, because he's most likely doing wrong as well. And it's one of those things that if you're spending the same amount of time in the gym, doing the same program with improper technique versus proper technique, you're gonna get way more out of it if you know how to perform the exercises correctly. And there's really no excuse. You wanna know the best resource for learning technique? You're literally on it right now. It is YouTube. You have professional weightlifters, you have powerlifters, you have science-based fitness coaches. I mean, I try to include a lot of videos of me lifting so you can learn how good technique looks like, so you can not only do the movement safely, but you're going to see way better results, and it's also going to help you remove that fear of lifting heavier because you know you're doing them with good form. And overall, over the years of lifting, the better your technique is, the more results you're going to get out of your programs. Lesson number 5. Approach the journey like a pro. This journey is going to teach you patience whether you like it or not. Some of your workouts will suck. Other workouts will be average. Some workouts you're going to feel like Goku turning Super Saiyan for the first time and you're crushing it. Everything is a PR. There's going to be lots of ups and downs, lots of wins, and lots of challenges on the journey. An amateur stays consistent only when they feel like it. A pro sticks to a schedule and does the work. Be a pro. Trust the process of building habits. Focus on consistency over perfection. As a natural, this will take you years to get closer to your full potential, so embrace that journey, work hard, and work smart. Things going to help you with that is making sure you hit that subscribe button below, making sure you enable notifications by hitting the bell icon as well. Details for coaching are in the description below. Check those out as well. I'm going to leave a very important video for you here at the end, so check out that video, and I'm going to see you right there.